TikTok, social media giant smashing Facebook. You've heard of Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram, but there's a new kid in town. Over the past few years, the short-form video platform known as TikTok has taken the world by storm. It has over 1 billion unique users and has already overtaken Twitter and Facebook for video views. You watch videos there, get likes, comments, and more. It's kind of the whole thing. Hello and welcome back to another video on our channel, Finance Sense, covering all the latest trends in the financial markets and the economy. TikTok is Facebook's #1 competitor and competes directly with Facebook for attention and audience. But do you think TikTok might just be the social media giant that smashes Facebook? In this video, we'll take a look at the current state of Meta stock and see whether or not the collapse of this business is possible in the near future. But before we begin, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and click on the notification bell to stay updated with our videos. Without further ado, let's head on to the video. Technology stocks were among the worst affected by the market crisis of 2022. Mark Zuckerberg, the owner of Facebook, has been hurt the most among digital billionaires, seeing his fortune fall from $135 billion a year ago to $50 billion. Meta, the company that owns Facebook, has seen its stock price plummet in previous months. Now, it's lower than it was in March 2022 when the pandemic was at its height. There are a lot of problems that Meta must deal with, and many people have begun to refer to them as an existential risk for the business. It isn't easy to picture Facebook disappearing. There are now 3 billion users of Facebook every month, and it has become an essential component of the lives of most people throughout the world. However, keep in mind that in 2008, MySpace seemed unstoppable and had over 100 million members. Additionally, for a very long time, Sears was the undisputed king of department stores. In the 1980s and 1990s, nobody would have imagined that such successful enterprises would go bankrupt and disappear. The point being is that even though a particular company right now is racking up success, it doesn't guarantee that it will be around in 4 or 12 years. Investors are worried that Meta will follow in the footsteps of other companies whose revenue and profitability have recently plummeted. To start, Mark Zuckerberg created Facebook in the early 2000s from his Harvard dorm room. The company expanded rapidly, and by the beginning of the 2010s, it had established itself as a dominant social networking platform worldwide. Getting a Facebook account may be necessary if you don't want to feel left behind if all of your friends have already signed in. Thanks to the network effect, they were successful and their base of registered users has expanded dramatically from 100 million in 2008 to approximately 3 billion in 2020. One of Zuckerberg's smartest strategic choices was investing $1 billion to purchase Instagram. As Instagram was still losing money at the time, many investors thought it was a waste of time and money, but Facebook quickly disproved their assumptions. Facebook's user base has increased to over 1 billion active monthly users since it was integrated with Instagram. In addition to eliminating potential rivals, this strengthened Facebook's worldwide monopoly over the social media market. Social media platforms like Facebook and Instagram can offer their services for free because they monetize through advertising. Facebook's cutting-edge advertising technology is just one of the many reasons the company is so successful despite the intense competition. They have tens of thousands of highly skilled engineers on board, all of whom are devoted to making their advertising platforms as effective as possible. Facebook, for instance, is aware of your complete friend list, the groups you're a part of, the posts you like, and the ones you don't. For example, if you join many groups about painting, they might guess you're an artist and start showing you ads for art materials. Advertising for music, instruments, and related equipment may appear in groups dedicated to musicians you follow. Targeted advertisements have a high clicking pattern, increasing the likelihood that you will make a purchase. As a result, Meta generates more money from each user than any other prominent social media platform. Revenue per user was $41 in 2021 compared to $13 for Snapchat, $7 for Twitter, and $6 for Pinterest. Facebook's massive user base and effective advertising have led to exponential growth in both revenue and profitability. Furthermore, because of the pandemic, they reaped enormous benefits. Facebook's popularity grew as more individuals sought ways to stay in touch with loved ones without leaving the house. They earned a record-breaking net profit of $29 billion that year, and they broke the record in 2021 by a whopping $39 billion. Profits were so high that Zuckerberg felt Facebook could afford to invest $10 billion a year in R&D for the next decade, allowing him to build the metaverse he had always envisioned. Additionally, they went through with a corporate name change, switching Facebook for Meta. If they were in such a secure position in 2021, why did their stock price drop by approximately 2/3 in the past year? Meta is experiencing 4 key issues which may constitute an existential threat to the organization when considered collectively. 1. A widespread drop in advertising budgets due to the Federal Reserve's rate hikes and the ensuing, widely forecasted economic recession. Number 2, due to Apple's privacy laws, it is more challenging to deliver targeted advertisements. 3, their large expenditures on the metaverse are starting to look like an unnecessary expense. And lastly, 4, a rival app from TikTok is perhaps the most alarming of all. When protecting user data, Apple's latest iOS update makes it significantly harder for Facebook to track users as they switch between apps. Loss of revenue estimated at $10 billion per year directly results from the difficulty in delivering targeted advertisements. Considering their over $40 billion in net earnings from 2020 to 2021, this isn't a major catastrophe by itself. They can afford to lose $10 billion, and it still won't be the end. And their legions of engineers should be able to overcome this obstacle. Meanwhile, advertising budgets across industries have been steadily decreasing, exacerbating the situation. Most experts expect a recession due to the Federal Reserve's interest rate hikes. Numerous businesses are cutting ad spending as a cost-cutting measure. Many new tech businesses poured large sums of money into digital marketing in 2020 and 2021. They had to constantly issue new shares of stock to cover their advertising budget and other expenses. Advertising expenses for hypergrowth startups have dropped as the D-SPAC index has fallen 75% over the last year. On the other hand, recessions always end, and this one will too. But TikTok is here to stay for the foreseeable future. Over 1 billion people have joined the short-form video platform in recent years. TikTok is in direct competition with Facebook for users' attention. Younger generations frequently devote more than 5 hours daily to viewing TikTok content. Because there are only so many hours a day, this will naturally result in less time spent on social media sites like Facebook and Instagram. In 2018, when Zuckerberg released the nearly identical Lasso video sharing app, we knew he had been worried about the competition posed by TikTok. However, the launch of Lasso came far too late, even in countries like Mexico, where TikTok took longer to gain popularity. Since Lasso was a bust, it was discontinued in 2020. They ultimately decided to incorporate a short-form video platform inside Instagram rather than develop a standalone TikTok competitor. Instagram stories were referred to as Reels, and it has very similar features to TikTok. There are currently 1 billion active Instagram users. Zuckerberg believed he had a perfect strategy to smash TikTok and reclaim its place as a dominating social media platform by taking advantage of this large audience. Facebook provided minimal information about the efficiency of Reels, leaving investors to speculate on its failure or success until a confidential document was released to the public in September of this year. Nearly 200 million hours per day are spent on TikTok. However, there are only 17.6 million less hours spent on Instagram Reels than on TikTok. And just approximately 20 of the 11 million people who make Reels update their channels monthly. To make matters worse, 1/3 of the videos on Reels were made from TikTok and then published on Reels. These results imply that TikTok is still the most popular app for sharing short videos, with Reels being a secondary consideration. Facebook has not yet seen a drop in its user base as a result of the rising popularity of TikTok. There are about 3 billion people that use Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp monthly. However, there may be 7 billion of us, but many people still can't get online because they're confined in rural areas. Globally, approximately 5 billion people have access to the internet. Meanwhile, China, home to 1 billion more internet users, has banned all Facebook apps. So only around 75% of people who have access to the internet have a Facebook account. Additionally, once you reach a certain level of worldwide penetration, it becomes incredibly challenging to keep expanding your user base. TikTok has not led the decline in Facebook's overall user base, but it has led to a decline in the average amount of time spent there. Spending less time on Facebook means fewer opportunities for the company to display advertisements and generate less money from you. In the second quarter of 2022, revenue growth became negative as a result of this and reduced targeting efficiency brought on by Apple's privacy modifications. Since going public in 2012, this is the business's first quarterly growth rate below zero. Although it decreased, it was just 1% and hardly catastrophic. Nonetheless, we are seeing a much bleaker future in terms of profitability. In the most recent quarter, net income was below $7 billion, continuing a negative trend that began in 2020 and has lost over $10 billion per quarter. Facebook's declining profits can mostly be traced back to Mark Zuckerberg's plan to expand the internet into the metaverse. At a press conference in 2021, Meta declared their intention to spend $10 billion annually in the following decades to develop the metaverse. Zuckerberg imagines a future in which individuals conduct their everyday life entirely online. Anything from working to spending time with friends and physical workouts. Since acquiring VR headset company Oculus in 2014, they have actively participated in the metaverse development. Their goal is to utilize Oculus as a vital facilitator of the metaverse. They were beginning with the gaming industry and moving into other metaverse fields. Meta's Reality Labs section includes all their metaverse-related projects, such as the Oculus. Profit for Reality Labs is expected to top $2 billion by 2021, primarily due to the success of the Oculus VR headset. By a wide margin, 29% to be exact, Oculus is the most popular virtual reality headset on the market. Unfortunately, this amounts to less than 2% of their advertising revenue, so it won't have much of an impact on the company's bottom line as a whole. Moreover, Reality Labs' operating losses have skyrocketed to over $10 billion by 2021. They're spending a lot of money on software development to realize Zuckerberg's long-term goal of recreating the actual world in VR. In 2021, when the company changed its name to Meta, he created a promotional video in which he immerses himself in an aesthetically attractive digital environment. You should know that this is only a green screen CGI representation of what they hope the metaverse will look like in 10 years. These standards have long since been surpassed, and modern versions are a far cry from what they once were. But Facebook is a social networking site, not a game developer. This means they have to start fresh, which will be expensive and time-consuming. It would be better if they acquired a major video game company specializing in this area. However, in light of the present state of politics, this is a very remote possibility at best. US and European lawmakers see Facebook as too dominant because of Cambridge Analytica and other privacy problems. The Federal Trade Commission recently sued Meta after they deemed that the company's acquisition of a small app developer would have an anti-competitive effect. That rules out any plans for expansion via merger or acquisition. Unfortunately, they are now stuck with the extremely costly option of developing everything themselves. So is Meta doomed because of all of these issues? Its stock price is currently trading at levels below those seen in March 2020 at the height of the pandemic. The TikTok competition is the only thing they have to deal with that could be called an existential crisis. Facebook will figure out how to make money off its app usage for as long as its users keep coming back. Most TikTok users watch videos created by people from around the world. You can only keep up with your loved ones and friends and know what they're doing on Facebook and Instagram. TikTok lacks this feature, which helps explain why it continues to maintain a user base of approximately 3 billion every month. Meta is currently facing challenges and a projected decrease in time spent, but there are still mechanisms that may be pulled to boost revenue. Due to a massive hiring effort in past years, their full-time staff has expanded from 13,000 in 2015 to over 70,000 in the current year. Many of these employees are devoted to conquering the metaverse, an endeavor that, by Zuckerberg's admission, won't generate a profit until at least the decade's end. Meta reportedly intends to lay off as much as 10% of its staff in the following months as part of a larger cost-cutting strategy. They may keep making money by cutting costs elsewhere even as their sales production decreases. It's too soon to write out Zuckerberg just yet, even though TikTok's meteoric rise has made it seem like Facebook will never again be the dominant social media platform in the world. It appears that we have reached the end of this video. Thank you for watching this far. Please subscribe, give a like if you enjoyed it, and comment on your thoughts below. This is Finance Sense, helping you keep up with all the latest trends in the financial markets and the economy. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video.